What's up? So in this video, I'm going to be going through the Boss Katana Tone Studio, and I'm pretty sure I've dialed in a pretty solid high gain tone that works across all my guitars. So I'm going to be playing through all six of my guitars here, and they're all tuned in different tunings, and they go from highest tuning, E standard, all the way to lowest tuning, which is drop D1. That's a 30-inch baritone. So I think with the update to the Katana, the big thing that's really allowed the metal tones to be a lot more easy to dial in is this contour setting, especially contour setting 2. And so I'm going to show you right now what my settings are on my Tone Studio so you guys can see that. So looking at the Katana Tone Studio, what we have here is my general EQ settings, which are all set to 100, because from what I understand, this EQ on the Boss Katana is subtractive, so everything at 100 should be basically, there's no boost to any of the frequencies. It's all at 0. I do have an input EQ here that I've shaped. I have an output EQ on the parametric here that I've shaped. You can see all the settings here. If we go to the boost, tube screamer, clean boost, no drive, no tone shaping, just full effect at 100. If we go to the contour, I'm at contour type 2. I have frequency shifted down to -30, and that's basically gotten me the tone that I like. So coming out of the Tone Studio into the global EQ, this is basically what comes stock. I think I put a little bit more of a low cut and a high cut in just to kind of clean that up a little bit. Beyond that line out setting, I am using the new IRs. I'm using a 421 dynamic mic. Mic distance is 6 centimeters. That's basically 3 inches. Mic position 5 centimeters, so not quite 3 inches away from the center. So basically where the cone and the center of the speaker meet. So yeah, I think it sounds good. Beyond that, there's nothing much else about this. You can kind of get a sense of what I've done here. So let's go on to the tones. So the first guitar I have here is a Schecter Tempest. It's a 2004 model. I have Seymour Duncan SH6 distortion and a SH2 jazz in the neck. I'm only going to be playing on the distortion because this is a high gain thing. There is a coil tap on this. I put different knobs on it because I don't like the top hat looking acrylic knobs. Spurzle locking tuners. This is tuned to E standard, so this is the highest tuned guitar I have. And then everything I'm doing is just going to be what I call noodle chugging. It's just, I'm just going to be playing whatever. So maybe it's comparable, maybe not, but I like this tone. Alright, so I don't want to belabor the point of, you know, heavy tones on an E standard guitar. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so this guitar is a Gibson Les Paul Special from 1998. Guitar Center made 3 versions of this guitar, a black one, a like wine red one, and a natural one. This one has a broken headstock that I had to sand in epoxy. That's why it was sitting in my closet neglected for so long. It was neglected for so long, it actually has some pretty bad paint damage. So to get it back to where I wanted it, I just hit it with a coat of satin, satin to kind of even it out. Put some hip shot locking tuners on. I'm using one of these string butler things. The jury's still out on whether that's doing anything or not. But I took the 498T and the 490R pickups out, and I put Fishman Fluence Moderns in, complete with 2 voices and the high frequency tilt feature, which I don't really use. We're just going to be using the ceramic today, so let's see what it sounds like. Oh, and this is in drop C sharp, or D flat, however you want to say it. Mess that up. Let's try voice 2. Anyway, I think you get the idea. C sharp, Fishman Fluence. Let's move on to the other guitars. Alright, so this guitar is a Charvel Pro Mod SolCal Style 2. So it's the Telecaster. Everything's pretty much stock on this, except I did put Tusk, Tusk, graphite, whatever, string trees, just to better intonation, maybe. The one thing I did do on this, though, is I put this, Fishman Fluence Modern in. So this came with Open Core Classics. There's an Open Core Classic in the neck, but since they're Fishman pickups, you can just literally swap them however you want. This one is got toggle switch for voice 1 and voice 2. On this one, though, what I did do was wire the coil tap option to match the Open Core Classic neck pickup. So, but we're just going to focus on the ceramic modern bridge pickup. This is in drop C, so kill switch engage tuning. Let's try voice 2. Alright, so drop C. Let's move on. Alright, for this guitar, this is an ESP Horizon 1997. In the pickups, I got the Fishman Fluence Kill Switch Engage set. I have a 3-way mini toggle here to do voice 1, 2, and 3. So third voice being a single coil, actual preamp single coil, not a coil split. But today we're just going to focus on the bridge and just doing the voice 1 and 2 high gain. I did put Hipshot knurled tuners on these because I think they look cool. Beyond that, I did have to replace the original Goto bridge that came on it because it started sagging. This is a replacement Goto that I was able to find on Amazon for pretty cheap. So let's see how it sounds. Oh, and this is in drop B. Try voice 2. Yeah, I think this is probably as low as you could ever go on a standard scale 6-string and have it still stay pretty relatively in tune. Granted, all the string gauges have gone up in size as we've gone lower in tuning. I think this is a 56 on the low end here, whereas I started, I think, on a 48 on the standard E standard guitar. So let's move on to the really low boys. So this is a LTD, I think it's 2005 LTD Viper BB 300. So it's a 27-inch scale baritone guitar. Nothing about this is really stock. Goto locking tuners. I got rid of the tone knob and installed a momentary kill switch. So it's just one volume, 3-way switch, kill switch, Seymour Duncan's Nazgul, and a Seymour Duncan Sentient. So these are passives, whereas everything else up to this point, besides the distortions on the first guitar, were active. This is by far my favorite live high gain pickup. So let's check it out. Oh, and we're in drop G sharp, so half a step below drop A. suffice to say, I haven't gotten as proficient with that kill switch as some of the other YouTubers who have some crazy, like, interesting industrial sounding kill switch chops. Not me. I'm just more of a, look what I can do. So, anyway, so now we're going to go even lower than this. So, let's go. Hang on. Alright, so this guitar is an 8-string. It is an LTD EC258, 85 gauge on the low E, so I have it tuned to EAEADGBE. So it's basically a drop A 7-string with a low E attached. That's how I like it. I've tried drop E straight with the B instead of the A. It works, but I do like playing it more like a 7-string with that extra low note just for color. So with that said, let's get to it. Fishman Bossy Fluence pickups set, 8-string Goto locking tuners, and I did replace the bridge with the hip shot because the stock bridge started to get a little wonky. So anyway, let's see it. Let's check out voice 2, because these also have multiple voicings. Just for the hell of it, I'm going to do the single coil voice on here because it's actually pretty cool sounding. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to the last one, the Deep Boy, the big 30-inch bass 6 style baritone, all the way in drop D1. Alright, so this guitar, a SubZero Rogue 6 bass 6 style baritone guitar. It has a set of bare knuckle juggernauts. These are Misha Mansour's go-to pickup, but they work really well for this really low guitar. If you're a fan of the band Loathe, this is one of the guitars that they use. This one with the juggernauts has a single coil, split coil that I installed. Beyond that, just put on some locking tuners, and yes, a 90 gauge string will fit in this locking tuners, especially if you go with Stringjoy, who makes tapered sets. So these are Stringjoy strings, and let's see what this beast sounds like with the Boss Katana high gain tone that I dialed in. I actually think I might have dialed in this tone while playing this guitar, so it might be most suited for this guitar.
you can tell, but I have a lot of fun playing this one. It's just a great feel. To mention, before I go further, if you get one of these guitars, they do have QC issues, but they're all minor, at least mine were. The neck was a little flat in how it was installed. I think even the Squier bass sixes have this problem too, where they just have this high action because they're more like a bass. I went ahead and put a half a degree shim in the neck pocket. It got that action exactly where I like it. So if you get one of these, half-inch shim from StewMac, or even you can make one yourself. You can even use modified box tops. There's ways to do it correctly. Just make sure you fill the entire neck pocket. You don't leave like a big gap. That can actually cause problems. But anyway, yeah. So this is like, oh, so with this Boss Katana tone is. I think it rivals the Neural DSP Gojira that I typically use to record. So that was basically my spiel for this video. If you have any comments, you want to like, I'm just starting this whole thing, so you can even subscribe if you want. I'm going to try to put out some more videos of doing kind of this kind of content. My name's Brian. Hope to see y'all later.